Because I am a Spaniard from Southern Europe, I do not understand that Anglo-Saxon mentality so much, so I apologize for the English you will be hearing, since I am using artificial intelligence for simultaneous translation. But after reading Jeff Corner's article on Windows Central, I know that this is a PlayStation channel, so I don't think it can be understood as impartiality, since I believe that we all have a bias and that impartiality does not exist. I would like to comment that I notice it strange, not only on Windows Central but on other podcasts or media more closely aligned with the Xbox brand, that they feel outraged, or that they don't understand why brands, publishers or studios skip their Xbox platform or their Xbox console in this case. It has always been the case with video game consoles almost since their inception, that the console that sells the worst in each generation, in each cycle, is usually a console that publishers or studios gradually abandon over time to focus more on the platform that dominates the market, where there is the largest audience, because that other platform that sells little has a smaller pool of players with much more specific tastes. So as I've said, I don't understand how press like Windows Central, Jeff Corner or others related to Microsoft or Xbox platforms, with podcasts and so on throughout the Anglo-Saxon, English, North American, Australian world, insist on why certain publishers or studios are exalted in the Xbox platform, when it is something so simple, and that has been seen throughout the history of video game consoles, except that we have the difference that in this generation we are seeing how once again Microsoft, or in this case Phil Spencer, the only thing he does is pull out Xbox's money book to try to convince publishers to bring to their platform games that in themselves are not going to sell or be profitable. I simply don't know if it is because of the pride that a game does not reach their platform. Okay, let's take Final Fantasy Roman 14 as an example. A game that, as Phil Spencer once said, was something that had to be brought to the Xbox platform. A platform which had to pay a lot of money to Square Enix to port that to Xbox. After paying so much money and having an economy within it different from that of PlayStation or PC, we have found ourselves with very, very low numbers of Final Fantasy Roman 14 players on the Xbox platform. Well, Phil Spencer achieved his goal. Final Fantasy Roman 14 is available on Xbox. After paying for it, Square Enix now has to maintain that MMO on the Xbox console platform, even if the number of players is not good enough. I understand that all that maintenance will be done by Microsoft. But anyway, in the end the important thing was not for the Xbox people to play that game, as the numbers are showing. The important thing is that that game that was previously only on PlayStation, where it has a large community, but the largest of all is still the PC one, now it is no longer only on PlayStation, we also have it even if we hardly play it. So with what we have just seen, and on top of that being the console of this generation that sells the worst, or consoles, because they had the brilliant idea of making two consoles, one cheap and one more premium, meaning that not only the studios have to make ports or create games for a platform that sells little, but on top of that they have double the work, since they have to optimize for an Xbox Series S and an Xbox Series X, which do not stop giving them problems, since we have seen games like Wukong or recently No Man's Sky, or we have had examples like Baldur's Gate and others that we will have around there, where certainly Series S is being a problem for certain studios. And after these problems that we have discussed, we have another one, and for me it is the biggest of the problems. Certainly, a service like Game Pass, which is the nerve center through which Xbox moves, has managed to make its community. Xbox users, or rather Game Pass users, consider that the value of video games is nothing. We have thrown the value of video games to the ground, just like the streaming platforms. In a certain way they have thrown the value of cinema or the value of music to the ground. These are things that streaming platforms have brought us. A lot of material, and we do not value it at all. So with all this we've discussed, to sum up, we're seeing that Xbox-friendly media or podcasts are asking Xbox to force publishers or studios not to skip Xbox consoles. Well, we're getting to the point where we're asking Phil Spencer to keep injecting more and more money so that studios don't skip his platform, since those ports have to be paid for. Xbox is the console that sells the worst this generation, so it's where you're going to sell the worst, but on top of that you have twice the work, because you have to optimize for two consoles, and on top of that, it's a platform whose Game Pass core makes people perceive video games as something that has no value. So we're reading in the press, on Xbox, on podcasts, and other fans that Philip Spence has to come out with Microsoft checkbook again to pay studios for ports of games that he himself knows are going to sell relatively poorly on a platform that has no audience for those types of games, whether they're JRPGs or fighting games. We simply have to look at the trophy rates for games like Persona 3, for example, or other JRPGs where they have easy access thanks to Game Pass, but still have very high numbers of players or people who start and barely stop at the beginning. Well, this is what Xbox is in summary today, the platform that sells the worst in video game consoles in this new generation, and by far with its competitor. It is also the platform where users value video games the worst in terms of their real monetary value. Because you have accustomed your audience to this, and this audience asks you that the games do not skip that platform. Why? Because they feel hurt in their pride that PlayStation has those games, and their platform does not, even if they are not interested. History tells us that every platform that has been the worst seller, always without discussion, has had the backing of publishers and studios. It is something common, and as a personal favor, since I'm done with this, I've been playing trailers in the background for games that aren't coming to Xbox, with the simple reason that with this we can help inform Jeff Corner, other podcasts and fans to ask Phil Spencer to go to each of the studios or publishers and pay them that money to try to port the game to their Xbox console even if they have no interest in playing it at all. Remember, the important thing isn't to play those games, but simply that they are on the platform.
Samurai 世界へ向け出陣異星人の侵略により人類は全てを失った選ばれしパイロットたちは人類存亡をかけた戦いに身を投じる戦闘は巨大ロボットローグで行うパーツや武器必殺技など自分だけの最強機体で戦闘に挑め戦いでは敵に合わせて武器や機体を切り替えろダイナミックな超ド級の必殺技で敵にとどめを刺せ立ちふさがる強敵地球に眠る古代人類の謎運命に翻弄される者たちあのレジェンドな機体も参戦全てがパワーアップしたメガトン級武蔵ここに誕生メガトン級武蔵ワイヤード
プレイステーション
See ya.
Here comes a new challenger! Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics!
Our world is not headed for disaster, as you say. The Exalted One's awakening is simply the first step towards the birth of a brand new world. Everything will be destroyed to be born anew.
We're going to finish the work that Red started. We won't let you awaken it.
I get it that you want to protect Ratha. But all you're doing is making him suffer. Ratha here is the one paying the price for your selfish obsession with the Nergigante.
Let's go, Rathy! Fire!
It may be impossible to save the world without Ratha's help.
Bonds of friendship between riders and hunters. Looks like the children really are our future.
Sukino!
Understood!
I won't miss! Time to put our kinship to the test!
This is where it all ends.
前来た場所にまた来ることになるなんて、なんか感慨深いな。いたいた。みんな、こっちだよ。
もうすぐ泉州ラフで晴天演舞という典礼が開かれるんだ。請求列車の諸君、ぜひ見に来てくれ。
どうしてここにホリジンが。そこ。よいしょ。ケンちゃん、どれを切りたいか教えて。全部？わかった。 ちの修行の成果を見て。10人は相手できるよ。
ラフの優秀国、妖精のものとは随分違いますね。水の下に隠されているなんて。人が集まるところにはいつも暗流がある。せっかくですからぜひ召し上がってください。
自由を取り戻した後の一食目が同胞の刺激とはな。
カンガ、気の毒に。
追いかけ噛み砕き引き裂く記憶が全部戻ってきた。
奴らが望むならいくらでも付き合ってやろうじゃない。
プレイステーション。
Windborn Outlander, as you set off on your journey once again, you must remember that the journey itself has meaning.
Defeating that monster might remove this strange wind current seal thingy around the Statue of the Seven.
Venti, the bard that sits around doing nothing all day? He was once such a gentle child, now so full of rage and suffering.
I will not stand for such impertinence! To ashes!
I, Fischl, Prinzessin dürfe Ertelang. Eat this!
Let's dance! If I tell you the story with a performance, will you believe me? Time for takeoff!
Sacred name, Fortune Preserver.
One step closer. Maybe soon I shall finally uncover the truth of this world.
I swear by my sword!
With sword comes shadow.
Blaze into light!
Verdict is...
PlayStation